Greetings and for joining us on this broadcast brought to you by Fifth Dimension, brought to you by Absolute Insanity. So, all right, we continue our quest to be completely bizarre and original. So, I'll do a 5D Earth, do the Dolores Cannon connection again as well. This seems to be or let's see, 5D Earth. Let us see what comes through for that. Continue with that. You can do a 9D Earth, an 8D, and I felt a 10. I think the ninth. The ninth gate came through as I was putting all this together. Whatever that means. All right, so kind of like a continuation from yesterday a little bit. Yeah, the Archon energy continue with that. So look at this as more of an educational purpose. Isn't like this isn't to creep people out or anything. It's just to put information out there for healing purposes, of our reality. Tiki. I didn't look up like how to pronounce this. That's the thumbnail, Tiahuanaco or something like that. That's a stargate or a sun gate in Bolivia. So channel that vibration also. Bolivia has a lot of South America has a lot of strangeness there. So I was kind of guided to look at that. So I think I have in the past. It's been a while. I can't remember everything. So one thing about doing this is I talked about yesterday talking about the spirit world. Like there's a positive and then there's a not so positive. And the not so positive is creating our reality, dictators in charge and why other criminals are running why the gangsters are running everything for the most part. Not everything, but quite a bit. And it feels like, there's certain information within the spirit realm that they don't want out there, from what I'm gathering. And I imagine there's people out there have been doing this type of work. I'm doing mine publicly. Most people don't do that public. I don't think they do. But I know some people that do this. They dive into reality, unlocking words and things like that, and then they get like energy attacks and stuff like that. So, but you can go to a level where they don't want you to say anything. I don't think they can kill you, but I guess they'll try. Let's put it that way. So, I mean, look at so especially those that are very connected to the crown. England. I mean, it's kind of like a dictatorship to a certain degree, and that's just I thought the queen itself is just the control grid that's around it. It's pretty bad. I mean, look at the Canadian border, and Africa also. So I feel, of course, it's by other places. Defy the crown, see where things go for you. So, all right, we're going to dive in, see where we get with this. The Archon vibration. So we're going to continue with the 5D energy and do most of the, we're going to try to stay with that a little bit more. We'll just see where it goes. Okay, sorry, I'm talking to comment private sessions. Shop here. I'm at the shop. I think I'm on the first finally. For some people, same situation here. We have webinar sign up. We have social network, Rabbit, behind the scenes, and as the dating site. And we're not done with that yet. So I didn't put everything in the title here. I'll go here first. So this is what Tiahuanaco. Jeez, I should have looked that up first. How do I pronounce that? Either way, Tiahuanaco. I'm not one to pronounce things. I don't like pronouncing stuff right anyway. Anyway, this is in Bolivia. If you want to go there, there's brochures and such. I just went to their site, but I guess this is a travel agency. But either way, it gives you kind of an idea of what you're seeing there. So I'm not gonna be able to pronounce that right. So anyway, we'll just the best I can. The line of Judah. This is in Ethiopia. It is. I don't know if this is still there. There's this. That is a little bit odd. I just felt like connecting to that. I'm not going to channel it, but you can do your research on where it's coming from. I just wanted to put it out there. That shows a few lines are there, that's for sure. So we'll see see if that comes through in some form or another. It's probably better off if that's there, not some giant reptilian. I would see how that goes for people. But yeah, spirit realm, our realm is not exactly. I mean, there's positive, of course, but there's like a darker realm that's running our society and justifying its means existence. So, okay, we're going to 5D Earth and Tikiak. I really walked into that one, didn't I, for pronouncing it? We'll just do Bolivia consciousness or something, but we'll be connected to that stargates or sun gate, whatever they call it. All right, blessings. Greetings. This is Doris Cannon. This is also the 5D Earth. This is like a page in your evolution, as you know. The skeleton, the human skeleton that you are living in at this time. At one time, it was crystallized. You can say technically, you can do this today also. So bringing that vibration in of basically changing your Earth's atmosphere. So healing the chakras, as you know, healing the inner Earth. Feel this new Earth vibration to kind of come around the planet and unlock itself from third dimensional idea systems. And basically, for some aren't ready for this new Earth. It's allowing more of your truth to come through. Where lies are harder to hide, and you're going through that phase currently. Now you've been going through this for quite some time, but yes, such as your political system, your entertainment system, which is part of your political system, technically, it's basically for what is being deceived in your reality to no longer have deception. So 5D realities are kind of just gracefully coming. There's still a lot of, and you're going to see a lot of different spirit energies of what is true, what is not. It's up to you. Yes, create your own truth. Many aren't ready for their full truth, especially when it comes to positivity. Many get lost within that. But I feel like positivity is the answer to everything, and they don't always be able to recognize their darkness. It's like sugarcoating their darkness, not willing to see it just yet. Not everyone's ready to see their own darkness. And yes, eventually they'll have the wake up call. That's why some, like, you have a light person, higher vibrations, but they marry someone, have a relationship with someone who has a lot of darkness. So it shows they're not ready to face their own darkness themselves. So they can face it through someone else and heal them. So it's like, why is this beautiful person on the outside with this person that's falling apart? So there's just a lot of darkness within that's very difficult. That's a difficult chore. It takes lifetimes to heal. And it all depends on how you went about it. If you use it to manipulate others and you're not ready to let go of it, so but those that have a lot of beauty around them and use it for manipulation, eventually it comes back to them, where the beauty is no longer there. So the 5D energies, of course, is where your alien realm exists. So of course you're slowly opening up those doors and getting used to that vibration. So of course there's 4D that you're working with currently. Yes, 3D, 4D, mostly the 4D realm is where you'll see them. Whereas 5D, you'll see more of a positive alien form. Well, you kind of have to go up the steps. You have to go to 4D before you get to 5D. Now, some of you will instantly go to 5D. You're already connected to that vibration. Not to say that your ego, it's many, but it's where many of are in that. Some are just in that realm for a very long time. It's just that's where you reside. That's your home. Without having the ego is like, oh, I'm better than everyone. It's just that's where you exist. So this is why some of you have your third eye already open because you're used to the fourth dimension, you're used to the fifth dimension, you're used to the sixth dimension, and so on. So you just see these things easily. You can break through. Of course, you go through your own trials here. I mean, you have your positive, but then you have your negative. It's like you can see these alien beings and ghosts, but you have to deal with life. So, and many that can't really see through the third eye and all of that have had a lot of third dimensional incarnations, or it's just some just turned it off. It all depends. But a lot of it just many have had so many incarnations connecting to fourth dimensions. Like I don't have time for all that. Like my problems are in the third dimension, and it just goes on and on with that. So those of you that are more connected to higher vibrations, of course, they're going through their own tests. Where they come from, you're healing your home planets. Also, you're healing yourself. You're also healing your galactic families by being here. It might not make itself too clear at this moment. In due time, some of you are feeling senses, beings around you. So if you sense them around, that means you're bringing that energy here. It's like your umbrella. It's your healing apparatus. So you brought your planet here with you, and you're realizing it. And everyone has this, but some can connect to it better than others. Not everyone, that's why you have so much frustration. It's like, wow, I feel this paradise reality. Because they're in a parallel life. In parallel life, yeah, some of you there's things you might not want to see because you see that peaceful reality and then you see yours. But we also eventually see much of the structures of your reality starting to fall apart, meaning that deception can no longer work here as it used to. How that works is in different ways. It has a lot to do with the lies of the third dimension. It's basically you want your truth, but also how about for the planet itself? Truth for the planet. And you probably feel a fight there with humanity. Well, humanity feel that this is their truth. So you're here to just send your love, basically. I mean, some are, yes, they're trapped in a third dimension reality, if you want to look at it that way. It's tentative like that. And that they made it home. And so they don't need you barking at them. So you're like the flowers and the trees outside of their reality. So, it's literally. I mean, many of you are actually keeping nature going here. You're keeping it. Of course, when you have rain, it is there to cleanse, and many do want to go to sleep because you go into the astral realm because the place is under a major cleanse, and you work in the astral realms, and then sometimes you have a sleepy day when it rains. It's you're working on the earth. You're always working on the earth, but sometimes you do need to take a rest. So yes, there's another energy here which is to speak bring more clarity to you of the realm that you're living in. So greetings to you. We are the Archons. Oh, you want to say we're manipulating your reality? Well, we have fogged up your reality to our liking. So, you can see different alien groups bring their ideas here, and we make it easier for them. Like if you want to build a government here, and then who's going to take it over? Like we build the infrastructure for it, and then others add on to it. Well, basically, yeah, we say like we pretty much own the place is the way we look at it. But there are many others that do. Yes, we are connected to your spirit realms. Um, yes, there's a lot of arrogance there. There is a war in the spirit world of what happens here. So many of you are sent here kind of like on a military job. And you might just live a normal life. You just go into the store, you have your kids, or whatever. Don't have kids, who cares? You have what you need here. So technically, this isn't, for some of you, this isn't really a life, and it's a mission. But this isn't your life. I think you know that already. It's like you're here to awaken humanity in a way. You don't feel like this is, I mean, this might look like you, but it's not really you. So, of course, there's an ancient technology here. Yes, well, you can call it whatever you want, but it's an Archon reality of basically choose your own adventure. Well, the way we see it as, and there's a lot of insectoid energies within us also, of basically who can, you know, first off, we were invited here. I mean, some might say that we were intruding, some might have different connections with us. We invaded here because we felt like it. Well, that's technically true, but we were technically allowed to come here. And once we came here, we did our thing. And you can see that there's a lot of, within Archons, there's a black energy or a black goo for that matter that does complicate your reality. What takes you from the fourth dimension puts you in the third dimension. Yes, and disease is another way to keep you in third dimension, but also a way of keep clearing souls out here. It's like your time is up. Here's a disease. Someone actually want to stay here forever, and that's not the point of this place. So you can say we're kind of like directors of your reality. It's yes, like I said, we're more of a neutral energy. You can say we're negative, but of course, when you have a loved one die, obviously we're the villain all of a sudden. But basically, we're here to, we're kind of like the architecture of your school. What you're here to learn, what you're here to figure out about yourselves. You can also connect to the Archon Akashic record or our program that we brought here. You can call it a sponge and call it a maggot infested reality, whatever you want to call it. I mean, sometimes you need an ugly. Well, we find the ugly within the soul of what to, learn. It's like we look at the soul, we see inside what we can improve on, what we're trying to figure out ourselves. A lot of stuff we have not seen before. Not like this. Well, it's we kind of, as you know, we test the soul. We push it to your brink. We're kind of signed up for that to push the souls to their end. It's like, I can't take this anymore. Or to shake you up, basically. Not everyone exactly, but quite a few. So if all the hate obviously going to come to us. But we're basically push the soul to its edge. And it's not a physical, it's not like it's an army where you're just running all the time. It's a mental, I would call it you can call it a manipulate, call it whatever you want. So the criminals here of your governments and your systems, they're infinite. Yeah, they're like, I mean, you can say some of them are technically holograms, infestations to keep your reality going, keep you from learning where you're here to learn these certain lessons here. Obviously, many say they're not here to learn lessons. We'll find, we're here to push the soul to its limits, to really push you to and of course, souls are, some feel like, but some of you push yourselves to the limit completely. You know who you are. Well, you're trying to get tapped into our realm too. To see what we are, to bring our, basically, even for us to be revealed here. Now you can visualize this any way you want. We come to you all in different versions and sizes, and but we're basically fundamentals of what you're experiencing today. So you can call it a holographic reality. Everyone sees this differently. So yeah, everyone has their own perception. All perceptions are correct though. And we find it very fascinating how some might see us. Some of you might see us as ancient Babylons. We're a little bit of everything. We're a Babylon reality that's just, and a lot of their programs were activated during Babylon, but basically the end of Atlantis basically activated the testing of the soul of to truly to put the soul through hell, basically. Maybe that's not the best word of it, but that's the easiest word for it. So, for better or for worse, to take you to your breaking points once again, and even clear out old habits and maybe start new ones. It's like, of course, some of you's like, I'm never going back to that world again. Well, that's what they all say, and then you end up coming back. Well, because yeah, the soul gets crystallized while you're here. You don't see it while you're here, but when you leave here, it's like, wow, I've really advanced myself like 1,000 worlds in one incarnation. And some of you might be feeling that. That's why you're going through the aggravation that you're going through. Now, some might have 10 worlds, some might have 100 worlds, some of you have 1,000 worlds you're going through at this time. That's why you're going through the depressions and anxieties. It's a great deal. But you're here to accomplish what you're here to accomplish, whatever that might be. And we take the problems from other planets and bring them here. That's done deliberately. I mean, you even come here, it's like, I had this problem on this planet. Oh, we can take that and just magnify that across the planet. Like some of your politicians, not to name names, that are horrible in other realities, like, come on down. Like why your gangsters are in charge. They're here to keep the vibrations low so the soul can learn. Now, some of you are bringing an end to this. You'll feel a crystallization of humanity. You'll just feel like a lot of these timelines dissipating, disconnecting. What was once a manipulation is now gone. Even a lot of your calendar will possibly start to fall apart also. You don't need it anymore. That'll be a historic day. We feel like the calendar will go away before time. Of course, you might have some time for that one. Well, you're going to have generations of people that are no longer want to go by any of your systems. As you start breaking down, they're going to look at the calendar system, your January, February, March, and say, we don't need that anymore. So obviously, you're healing a lot of the wars here. Eventually, you'll break down your military systems. They're doing that now. It's going to get lighter and lighter for the military occupation here. It just things will get problems here, or occupations they call it, will thin out. Like your military will start to thin. It's not quite ready for that just yet. Politicians are whining and crying. It's absolutely hilarious on our side. But that's what some people need to go through. Well, they have to put out that negativity. It's the lessons. They're teaching people lessons. They're being the villain. And they do reap the rewards. Well, they have to be put in certain positions to do what they're here to do. You have to put in a high position here to cause mayhem here. We don't need that mayhem anymore. That person will go away. So what many of you are here is slowly dissecting where these people even came from. Politicians, musicians, actors, whatever. And like heal that vibration. Like your politics, that's always like a, you know what it is. Scab. Healing that vibration, healing where they came from. Some of it comes from Orion, not all of it comes from many places. Dark side of the universe. Very dark. I mean, think about like the Capitol building in your United States. That's somewhere else in the universe also. On a desolate planet. There's nothing there. That's kind of creepy. Well, there's insectoid beings there, but we'll let you connect to that. So a lot of your monuments are on other planets that are causing whoever's causing manipulation here, trust me, is somewhere else. Your Vatican, you know. So healing these places, letting go of the timelines, releasing them slowly, that is when your Earth starts to change. I mean, it's happening now, but I feel like more of that will happen, as you there's things people need their lessons here. Doesn't mean you need them, but somebody else does. Like the religions, they're going to go to those worlds where they're being controlled. It's just the way it is. Some of them are just used to that mentality. As you know, like for religion, they just can't release it. That's part of that reality they came from. So they're going to go most likely back to that planet when they leave this place and just continue that until they're ready to let it go. And that can take lifetime after lifetime. So yes, it's healing your spirit world is unlocking your planet. Yeah, seeing it from a different light. Yes, there's positive there, of course, but what if there's something else there that's not so positive? Like, yes, who's manipulating your society? Obviously, they don't want to be seen here, but if you want to heal your earth, sometimes you have to see things you don't want to see. Let me imagine many of you can visualize it in your own mind. I mean, you're here to bring a higher vibration of earth, right? Well, you kind of have to look at things a little bit differently and remove a lot of these, there is insectoid energies, yes. They're known to invade worlds all the time, but it's not all of them. It's the human, it really comes down to the human experience. Humans are going through what they need to go through because they need to go through it. So, their problems are your problems. Our problems are everyone else's problems. Just the way it goes. So, but it doesn't mean you have to be your problem forever. It's like a family member that has a lot of problems, and you're trying to send love, and you have a family member that's driving yourself nuts. Well, think about that on a world collective. So you're here to try to do good, and just all this and toxic energy from. There's a lot of love that needs to go, and a lot of souls here have not had anybody care about them at all. And you probably can feel that too. You feel like nobody cares about us. Yeah. It's one way to keep, and they're here to heal, find self love. It gets pretty deep. So, Saturn, well, Saturn had a lot to do with this, of course. Well, Saturn, you can say, brought Archon energies here. Invitation, of course. And Saturn made sure, but Saturn's wearing here too. Saturn is healing itself also. Greetings to you. We are the energies from Bolivia. Yes, of course, there's an alien footprint there. Yeah, of course. Your sun gate or stargate. They're technically the same, but it all depends on them. So it's like an alien imprint that was left here of your ancient Atlanteans. There's more to it than that. Even your Nazca lines, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, is more of an Atlantean energy also. Now, somebody feel Anunnaki there, but it really comes back to ancient Atlanteans that were changing. They were just experiencing new things. Some of them were becoming Indian-like. Lemurians becoming Indian-like, or different cultures becoming very, American India, or India from India and China. A lot of your Atlantean beings are just changing their way of life. So they left a lot of their knowledge here. Of course, some of it is computers. It might not look like a computer in your reality, but some of it is. And Bolivia has a lot of it there. Basically, a lot of those stones can be reactivated. In your reality, it just looks like a regular stone, but with a bunch of carvings on it. But if the right being connects to it, it can activate it, and it can turn into something totally different. So same as your Egypt, same as the hieroglyphs there, but usually the more alien it is, the more advanced it is. So, and some of those stargates are connected to weather manipulations too. Well, basically, when you're connecting to other worlds, the environment shifts, of course. So, I mean, going to another planet through a stargate was normal. On your planet, obviously, it's not making itself clear of all these things that are here. Well, there's a hesitation for disclosure. You're doing it on a spiritual level. It is very complicated, as you know. Well, so many different points of views. It's hard to connect to what is correct. Well, what's correct to you? And if you're not sure what's correct with you, it's probably many things that are right. I mean, you're connected to a lot of things. There's something that you're dealing with because it's many of you are actually connected to your galactic collectives and aren't aware of it. Like, why am I connected to this person? Why am I connected to that person? That person's a little bit shady, but I still feel a connection there. Sometimes it's your old gangster friends. Sometimes, I mean, if you feel a deception in some of the spiritual communities, probably because there is, and you were a part of it, or a healing part of it, or part of the follower of that you're still working on, and makes things a little bit complicated. You're figuring out what is right for you, and that's the hardest thing: is what is your truth. That's difficult. Now, many have given themselves to religions to make it easy. Here's my soul, just like that. Just give themselves away. It happens all the time. That's the strange thing about your world, how souls, humans here, and not on other worlds too. But you think they would learn that from other realities, but obviously not. I mean, I guess if they give them enough, food and water, because what do you think religion is? Thank you for the food and the water, and I sold my soul to you. So, the tricks of the gods. I mean, it's good it's okay to thank the gods, but you don't have to be a part of an institution to do that. You can connect more to yourself, which many are kind of scared to do. Because again, you have to have your own ideas, and that's not so easy. Because some do get pulled into the negative, but sometimes you need to learn. It's all learning in the long run. Obviously, the more positive vibrations aren't always the most fascinating. It's not the most exciting. So you connect to more of the darker aspects, and sometimes it might seem positive, but it really isn't, which many fall for all the time. Well, it's the more the lights, the fanciness. Um, yeah. Of course, I don't believe even your Yeshua is much involved with that. From what I can see here, I don't think so. It was as plain as you can get. Of course, after he died, they took him and made him, change his whole appeal, change his whole, made him fancy and more appealing to everyone else. So overall, he was pretty down to earth. I mean, he wasn't perfect, far from it. No, but who is? You come here to have problems, not necessarily here to fix them all. Oh. But Bolivian energies here are basically footprints of the gods. Basically, if you connect to, and some of you are from that place or can tap into it, and even feel the activations there. Now, obviously, the activations are going to fully activate as of yet, but you're going through that phase where it's possible in your future time. I mean, your whole world. I mean, you can go outside. I mean, people want to go to Africa and all these places. You can, where you are today, you can activate that land also. I mean, technically, you can build your own Stargate if you really want to get into that. It doesn't have to be too fancy. It can be like a miniature version of it. It can be this high. It doesn't have to be that big. So, I'm not sure what I just opened up there, but you can create your own Stargates if you want to. We can use crystal grids for that too. But usually, yeah, they have to be kind of like a doorway. We can have a doorway on the ground, but having a doorway, like a door, usually works a little bit differently. Let's see.